They have packed the rack. It's a sellout in Jersey as Rutgers welcomes in the 7th-ranked team in the land, the Michigan Wolverines. Basketball on BTN, presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. 20-2 Michigan coming off the loss in Iowa. Rutgers, they're coming off a loss themselves as they were defeated Saturday at Ohio State. And we welcome you up top here at the rack. Brandon Gaudin and Sean Morris with you. So both teams coming off defeats, but obviously teams in different spots right now. Michigan top 10 of the nation. But Rutgers, they've been playing extremely well, Sean.
Yeah, with the exception of most recently on the road at Columbus, taking care of the basketball was a problem. Gave up 22 points off turnovers in Columbus. They'll need to tidy that up tonight. And for the Michigan Wolverines and their losing effort, foul trouble really hindered them, especially digging themselves a hole in the first half.
Yeah, that doomed them in that 15-point defeat in Iowa City. Here are the starting lineups. Simpson, Poole, Matthews, Brosdakis, and Teskey for the Wolverines. And Geo Baker needs to get back on the right track for Rutgers. 5 of 18 from the floor in his last 2 outings. Speaking of Michigan, big man John Teskey, one of the reasons they lost at Iowa, he fouled out in just 13 minutes.
He got 2 fouls in under 1 minute of clock time. He was very efficient in the time he was in there, but they didn't just miss his rebounding. He's also an impactful player on the defensive end of the floor, leads the conference in block shots.
Yeah, so just 1 minute in the first half for Teskey. 12 in the second half, but they could not overcome Iowa's hot start and good finish. And off we go. 3rd sellout of the year in this building for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. He was good at Ohio State. 19 points, career-high 6 assists. But an air ball there with a left hand, and then Dorson was out of bounds.
Really nice defense by the freshman Brosdakis. He walled up, and then he didn't go for the up and under move. He maintained his feet as well as verticality. They're forcing a difficult shot.
Rutgers struggles from the floor, just 40% from the field, lowest in the Big Ten. And Michigan, they did not shoot it well in Iowa. Iowa mixed defenses a lot. They were in the zone frequently. Brosdakis, wow, that deadened off the back of the rim and dropped down.
A breakdown in communication defensively between 2 Rutgers players there. You can't go underneath the screen, and if you're going to help, you have to make sure you come over the top. You cannot allow Brosdakis to get confident early.
A friendly bounce for the freshman on the road.
Nice play.
Good slip. Dorson throws it down on Brosdakis.
And there, they used the inexperience of the freshman against him. They brought him out high. He really wanted to deny the basketball to Omoruyi, and then they backdoor. Nice job. Nice execution.
Great environment. It was 60 degrees today here in Jersey, so it is hot inside this building right now. Simpson up top, a little wide of Teskey, and a rare Michigan turnover. Back to that Dorson slam.
Little screen, the roll, a breakdown in communication, and Dorson sends it in. Excellent job. Now, if you're going to help, you have to be able to recover. Brosdakis was supposed to come from the weak side, just wasn't able to get there in time.
Already a Let's Go Rutgers chant here at the rack.
He'll go right at Teskey trying to get that foul.
Teskey knocked it free and out of bounds with 13 to shoot.
Boy, a risky play by Teskey, especially given the foul trouble he found himself in last time. He did a good job of walling up on Omoruyi. You have the size advantage. Force a difficult shot. Don't bail him out with a reach-in potential.
Just the first time all year that Teskey had fouled out in that Iowa game, and John Beilein said after, we realized we need him on the floor because the backup center position is a bit of a mystery right now for the Wolverines. Long hook shot, but it works for Shaq Dorson. So Dorson, who's coming off a career-high 9 points against Ohio State, has the first 4 for Rutgers. Almost a strip, a pull.
Great communication by Rutgers here, especially by Dorson.
Brosdakis, no, but he will head to the line after being bumped. Steve Pikiell, a lot of talk about what he's been able to do this year, Sean, with already 4 Big Ten wins.
Won 3 in a row. trying to incorporate a lot of younger players. Getting Eugene Omoruyi back after a 3-game absence has really paid dividends, not just in what he's been able to give them as their leading scorer and rebounder, but he's the foundation on which this program is built, which is namely toughness. And for him to come back as quickly as he did from that dislocated kneecap suffered in that win versus Ohio State, I think what it's done is it's lifted the intensity level of all his teammates.
Yeah, he missed 3 games, and that's normally a month injury, but he was back so quickly, just like he was last year when he had the same issue.
Yeah, there's guys that miss 3 games with a bad haircut.
Not that guy. Toughness personified. So Brazdeikis with all 5 for Michigan. Dorson with all 4 for Rutgers. Omoruyi, a rare 3 and a little strong. Now Simpson, he can run it, but he wisely holds it up. Great pass. Boy, he is such a good distributor, and Brazdeikis has all 8.
Oh, what a thing of beauty to throw that pass with the offhand, and most importantly, to put it right in the shooting pocket with that bounce pass. That was exquisite.
One of the best passers in all of college basketball, of course, along with Cassius Winston at Michigan State.
He showed you why he leads the conference in assist-turnover ratio almost 3-1.
Good pass inside, good finish by Ron Harper.
And that's the second time that Rutgers has utilized the defensive intensity against the Wolverines. They really want to overplay everything, and Rutgers has had a nice counter in each situation.
There's Matthews. Last 5 games for him, just 7.4 points. Now they want to get going. Teske. Inside the circle was Omoruyi, so it's a blocking foul. Count the basket for Teske.
Nice 2-man game. Teske setting up shop. That's the right call by the official. You could see, even though Omoruyi tried to lift his heels at the last minute, if you are in there, and he's clearly inside that restricted arc, and you saw the official come in and make that point, pointing at the ground, for the fans at home, that's exactly what that means. He's in the restricted area. Now, if he's in there and he goes straight up in the air, you're entitled to jump. But if you're trying to draw a charge in there, it's a non-starter.
3-point play for the junior from Ohio. And Omoruyi, that's what he does. He takes charges. 18 of them this season, but not that time. Harper with a shot fake down inside to Myles Johnson. Little strong, look who's there. Omoruyi. And eventually to Simpson, outlet, pull, what a pass, and what a finish. Xavier Simpson dropping dimes early in Jersey.
Right in stride over the arms of a defender.
Almost got that in, did Montez Mathis. So a good start for Michigan here on the road. And Matthews off the window.
Really nice job by Matthews of avoiding the charge. Baker tried to slide over and impede his path, but it's been the unselfishness of both teams setting the tone here early. Xavier Simpson, second in the conference in assists. What a beautiful pass to set up the freshman Brazdeikis in the corner. And then watch this, in transition, you can't do it any better than that. Michigan with all the momentum here early.
Fox Sports app.
The junior Xavier Simpson, he stuffs every category of the stat sheet. Already a couple assists tonight, the triple-double, and he almost got another one at Iowa, Sean.
Just does so many things well, sets the tone on the defensive end of the floor, extremely unselfish, makes the common play, but also watch this pass. Now you're drilling, the head is up, you have to thread that along the baseline and lead the left-handed shooter right into the shooting pocket. I mean, there are pretty plays, and then there are Shania Twain pretty plays. That is a Shania Twain pretty play.
I'm not even sure how to respond to that, so we're just going to move on and tell you that Michigan's on an 11-2 run right now, and that precipitated the Rutgers timeout. The second pass, and now here's a steal by Matthews, but he stepped on the sideline.
And Brandon, you mentioned his offensive struggles, but one thing that has not wavered has been his ability to lock down the opposition defensively. Great job of coming with the inside hand, and that right foot along that far sideline just happened to catch a little bit of the out-of-bounds line, but you cannot fault the defensive effort, and he has been a defensive stalwart for Michigan this season.
Yeah, you see the offensive slip there, but you're exactly right. And that's a good point because Xavier Simpson and even Teskey this year have gotten a lot of defensive attention. Matthews deserves quite a bit of credit himself.
And can guard multiple positions. You know, he's locked down guys like Luther Muhammad most recently, and Romeo Langford comes to mind in some of their most recent games. He has really been a difficult player for people to try to score against.
Low on the shot clock. Omoruyi forced it, had it blocked. Here's Poole. And a good defensive stand by Geo Baker. And now Baker trying to do it all himself, a little strong. This is another guy that needs to get his shot back. That's a good sign for Michigan, Jordan Poole.
And that's the second time the bigs. The first time against Brazdeikis, it was a breakdown with Dorson. Here, it's the freshman Miles Johnson. You can't get caught in the lane on that ball reversal. You have to get out and contest.
And you see that note that he leads the team 40%, but the last 9 games, 27% for 3. Poole. Good move, good finish, Omoruyi.
You compare that to the first try of the game that he was able to come up short. He put his shoulder right into Brazdeikis and didn't allow Brazdeikis to utilize that length.
Simpson looking for another assist, but a rare air ball from Iggy Brazdeikis. As head coach, John Beilein, saying, hey, that's okay. Celebrating his 66th birthday today. And we also see looking for 121st career Big Ten win, which would break the Big Ten or the Michigan school record that Johnny Orr currently has.
That air ball will not bother the confidence of the freshman Brazdeikis. The next time he's open, he is going to let it fly.
And that's been his MO all season. He doesn't lack any confidence. Spin move, but no on the shot from Shaq Carter.
Kind of came off the heel of his hand. That was a nice sequence by Rutgers. Just didn't come off the hand cleanly of Carter.
Peter Kiss in the game defending Poole.
Good job by Kiss of moving his feet.
And Simpson, did he walk or was there a foul? They're going to call a hold. The officials, Terry Oglesby and Brandon Cruz, looked at one another and made the call in agreement.
Watch him come through the lane here. Yeah, he got him on the arm. That's the right call. And it was a good job of officiating as well, Brandon, because what you saw is the two officials posted, meaning they blew the whistle, they raised their hands, then they looked at one another, so one official wasn't calling a walk and the other a foul.
And then Matthews gets hit on the arm by McConnell, so he'll have 2. Some early moans and groans as Rutgers has picked up 4 fouls and Michigan yet to have 1 against them.
Charles Matthews, shooting
62% at the line. You mentioned his great defense. He also shut down Isaiah Moss. 0 points in that Iowa game.
And Moss, in the previous 3 or 4 games, was shooting the ball at an extremely high level, especially from behind the arc. And the thing that makes Matthews such a difficult defender, he's a great athlete, but he knows how to utilize that, and he's become a much better student on the defensive end of the floor, understanding angles and forcing guys away from their comfort zone. And then when they do get to their strong hand, he can test without fouling.
He knocks down both free throws. Michigan 20-2 on the season, and with a 20-8 lead right now over Rutgers. Simpson all over Baker. It's not going to be easy for him tonight.
Trying to go high-low, nice. Good recovery as well.
Carter back to Johnson, and Johnson from just inside the arc.
I tell you what, that guy is going to be a nice player. Had a double-double a couple of games ago, utilized last season as a red shirt. To see him shoot the ball that confidently, that's nothing but a good sign for the Scarlet Knights.
Alec Brooks in the game, gets 15 minutes of contest. Off to Matthews, catch and release, bottom of the net.
How important was it for Matthews to see those 2 foul shots go in, develop a little confidence on the offensive end of the floor? He's also showed some versatility with that dribble drive that forced Rutgers to burn a timeout in the first sequence of the ballgame.
Michigan 4 of 5 from 3. Matthews, great tap on the block. Just got a piece of it. He's got 7. He's looking for more. Fading and scoring. Charles Matthews is in his zone, and Steve Pikiell wants another timeout.
Well, Charles Matthews had been struggling offensively coming into this ball game, but you wouldn't know it from his production here early on. Takes the freshman down, feeling it, keeps that pivot foot anchored, and knocks it down, impacting the game on both ends for the Wolverines.
Men's basketball on BTN is presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans and brought to you by State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Rutgers band trying to get him fired up right now, down 15. John Beeline's crew is in sync. They are 8 of 10 from the floor, 4 of 5 from 3, 5 of 5 from the foul stripe. And he's thinking, well, this 66th birthday is going pretty well right now.
And the foul line situation is really what is a positive for Michigan. That's an area of concern, especially with that young man right there, Charles Matthews. You know, between Matthews, Simpson, and Teske, all 3 of those guys are in the low 60s, upper 50s in terms of their foul shot conversion. But Matthews tonight, perfect from the line, leading his team in that category.
He's got 9. Now what does Rutgers do out of the break here? Into the post with Shaq Carter.
Nice scrape there by Matthews.
I think he switched his pivot foot. Yeah, there's a travel.
And that was another wonderful defensive sequence overall by the team. Teske holding a spot, but then watch coming down here. Matthews comes down right there, and that scrape forces him to pick up the foot. There's no question that's a walk, but it started with good post defense by Teske, and then the scrape by Matthews led to the turnover.
Livers into the game. Good, going right into the basket, Isaiah Livers. Everything is dropping for Michigan. And there is the first foul of the game on the Wolverines, and the crowd with a sarcastic cheer.
I think we're close enough to call it a Bronx cheer.
A Bronx cheer, that's right. Good call. And that is the first foul on Teske.
And that's how they got the majority of their fouls and got themselves in foul trouble against Iowa, Brandon, was reaching. You know, they played so much more defense with their hands against Iowa. That's not been a staple of what they've done over the last 2.5 years. You can tell that was a point of emphasis, not just in the shoot-around, but since that time from the Iowa game, to play defense with your feet, not your hands.
We'll see how the replacement Brandon Johns does in there. That's going to be a whistle against Rutgers, a travel by Geo Baker. Or McConnell, rather.
And McConnell coming off a very solid offensive performance on the road, putting up double-digit points for the Scarlet Knights in the losing effort in Columbus.
Steve Pikiell's going to need guys like McConnell to start filling up the scoring column. Already a 17-point advantage for Michigan. Livers needs some assistance. Brooks comes out.
Rutgers really turning up the defensive juice. Let's see if Michigan tries to get something going toward the basket.
Swatted out of bounds. Good block by Shaq Dorsett. 7 to shoot. This is a bit of an interesting lineup for John Beilein on the floor right now.
Yeah, getting his guys some rest. Nice job by Dorsett of rotating over, and kind of a difficult position from which to inbound the ball for Michigan right here. You can funnel it, everything toward this sideline.
Poole fell, no foul called. Into Johns. This is out of his jurisdiction. How about Matthews? Offensive 19th charge taken this year by Eugene Omoruyi.
And it all started with the difficult inbound, Brandon. They were kind of hemmed in the corner after the block by Dorsett. Then you had a lot of inexperienced players on the floor that were funneled to the right side, and then the shot clock starts to wind down. Matthews understands he needs to take a play and just plows into Omoruyi.
If you think that's going to hurt Eugene Omoruyi, think again. He got popped in the jaw pretty good, though. Well, he had his kneecap and his ankle against Ohio State, so I don't think a little pop in the jaw is going to affect him.
Michigan really locked in on the defensive end of the floor, Brandon.
Omoruyi almost has it taken away, and it ends up doing that. Poole, shot fake, kicks it over to Simpson. Shot clock winding down.
Nice help. Good job defensively.
And a running hook shot by Xavier Simpson. I'd call it a circus shot, but he practices that.
That's the third time I've seen him do it in person, let alone on television. And if you're Rutgers, I mean, there's not a whole lot more you could do defensively than what they did. They were able to force Michigan in that last possession almost exclusively on the right side of the floor. They don't allow him to turn the corner. But then McConnell's able to do a pretty good job of keeping him in front. I mean, your momentum is taking you toward the baseline, Brandon, and you have the presence of mind to come back against your momentum and use the window.
He's generously listed at 6'1". You're not supposed to be able to do that at 6'1". That's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar material. Omoruyi backing down his old high school teammate Brasdeikis for two.
And the next time Omoruyi has to be cognizant of the fact he might have gotten away with a little bit of a clear out with the inside arm. So if they run that clear out again and there's not a lot of traffic to distract the officials, Omoruyi has to make sure he's not clearing out with that left arm.
But those two guys played a year at Orangeville Prep in Toronto, and now they're guarding each other here at the collegiate level. Turnover, and then Brasdeikis knocked it down. But it still leads to that. Livers fouling Mathis. He thought he had a clean block. He can't believe the call.
Yeah. Now, Mathis would have been better off. I tell you what, he did catch a break. He caught a break for a number of reasons. One, he'd have been far better served to come to a jump stop and put his shoulder to the rim. And I think that the official was straight line on that play, meaning that he was kind of coming from behind the play, because if Livers got him, it was barely.
One more look at it. Livers' second foul.
Because he comes from behind. He kind of maybe brushed him on the way down, but you know what? Mathis is fortunate because he had an opportunity to score, maybe not in as a spectacular way, but come to a jump stop, put your shoulder to the rim, and then make Livers come through you.
Teske comes back, so he sat 2.5 minutes. First 4 fouls of the game were on Rutgers. Last 4 fouls of the game have been whistled against Michigan. Jordan Poole into Teske. And that shot was affected by Dorson. Here's the aforementioned McConnell. You mentioned his 14 points last game. Omoruyi. That time, no.
Well, they're going to go to that matchup. They're going to continue to ride that and go right at the freshman.
Poole drops it off. Matthews kicks it out. Simpson from downtown. Yes!
Beautiful team basketball. You get the opposition moving from side to side. You have excellent spacing. That allows Simpson to catch it and shoot the ball confidently without being harassed.
Well, you said beautiful team basketball. There's a lot of great examples of Michigan this year. Ooh. Speaking of great team basketball, McConnell inside to Omoruyi.
Well, there has been some really outstanding passing by both squads.
We've got a timeout. Jordan Poole wanted the basketball to be wiped off, said it was wet, so we go to the benches. Michigan still rolling, up 15. And as an example of them rolling, let's take a look at tonight's Making the Right Play presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loan.
This really unselfish basketball. It starts with Jordan Poole finding Matthews at the rim. Had a chance at a pretty good shot, but understanding that his teammate Simpson, in this case, making himself available with wonderful spacing, making the right play.
And you see the hot shooting. And this after a game at Iowa where they shot just 32%, 8 of 33 from outside the arc, but a different story this evening.
And this is a team in the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers that only give up 42% shooting on the year. And they're 30 points above are the Wolverines right now, shooting at a torrid 73% from the floor.
Right inside to Brazdeikis, out of the timeout. John Beilein draws up a beauty. Brazdeikis already in double figures with 10. Michigan doubling up Rutgers, and a sellout crowd has become pretty quiet. I'll tell you one guy that's getting no freedom out there is Geo Baker.
Yeah. And the big reason for that, and Miles Johnson continues to impress, has been the defensive play of Charles Matthews. I mean, he's able to not only utilize his quickness, Brandon, to beat Geo Baker to a spot, but then when it looks like Baker might have an opportunity to rise up, the length of Matthews is right in his face.
But they've had success in the paint. In fact, 28 points between these two teams in the paint already.
And if you're Rutgers, that's where you want to continue to pound it because you're not a great perimeter shooting team. And we talked about the foul trouble that Michigan found themselves on in their most recent game. But maybe they were trying to go right at Teske particularly and get into that bench.
But here a shot from deep, and it doesn't work for Ron Harper.
Nice job by Omoruyi of jumping that left hand.
But it doesn't matter. Brazdeikis with a dozen.
That's what makes him different from so many first-year players. You and I were talking about it at shoot-around. So many young guys, especially big guys, can get knocked off their course when they take some body contact, particularly low. He does not fall prey to that.
Connell off the mark, but a tap-out keeps it alive. Miles Johnson out to Baker. Back into Johnson. Omoruyi. Teske came over to help, and that left Johnson all alone.
What a nice pass by Omoruyi to keep the wits about him, and then Johnson making himself available.
Johnson averaging 4. You mentioned his hot play as of late. He already has 6 here in the first half.
Yep, that's a foul. That's the right call. Teske was trying to get to the rim, and Ron Harper Jr. rotated over. That's the freedom of movement there. And even though he's the smaller player, Harper, you can't two-arm chuck Teske when he's trying to get to the rim.
First on Harper, 5th on Rutgers.
Now watch, he's going to roll to the rim. I mean, there's no question about that call.
And after picking up the foul, he heads to the bench. And Teske's also going to go to the bench. Brandon Johns will return.
And what that does, getting Teske to the bench, notice the clock and the score. The next media timeout is rapidly approaching, so he can get a nice little extra rest here before the final segment of his half.
Poole falling down as he misses it off the heel. But losing it out of bounds, Shaq Carter, and it belongs to Michigan. And these are key minutes for Brandon Johns, the freshman, as we get one more peek at this.
Yeah, that's off Shaq Carter. He tried to get it. He tried to get it into that other hand, and it looked like it ricocheted off his left wrist, left hand toward the out-of-bounds line.
Brandon Johns getting some extra time as Xavier Simpson goes to the basket. As John Beilein tried Castleton, he tried Livers at the 5, he tried Austin Davis against Iowa. They were looking for a backup center. It's been tough. Here's Johns defending Johnson.
Go right back, the repost. Yep.
And they're going to get Johns with a foul inside. His first, team 5th on Michigan. But it's a 17-point Wolverine lead. For tonight's SoFi Academic Ambitions, we shine the spotlight on Shaq Dorsett. Smart kid from Amsterdam, fluent in Dutch and English, and enrolled in the Graduate School of Education. 4 points tonight, coming off a career-high 9 against Ohio State. Also, more hoops tomorrow. All presented by U.S. Cellular. Maryland and Nebraska at 7. Wisconsin trying to keep their train rolling as they go to Minnesota at 9 Eastern, all here on BTN and the Fox Sports app.
And in the earlier matchup this season, in that second game between the Badgers and the Golden Gophers, don't forget, Minnesota went into the Kohl Center and was able to walk out with a win. Wisconsin looking to return the favor in the Twin Cities.
And Nebraska trying to break their losing streak. They have really started into a tailspin, but they'll get a chance for a big win against Maryland. Nobody's guarding Peter Kiss. They might want to reconsider it. He just slipped right to the wing, and nobody followed him over there.
And that's why he's in the game.
A 14-point lead for the road squad. Simpson into Teskey, but taken away by Johnson. Montez Mathis right to the rim. Brosdakis rushes a shot. And Rutgers trying to put together a little run here.
Good job by Peter Kiss of going straight up to contest that shot.
Baker, got it! Timeout, Michigan. And now let's take a look at this message from ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Hiring delays were causing work to pile up. That's not smart. But you know what is smart? Using ZipRecruiter. They find people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job and actively invite them to apply. So I got qualified candidates fast. No wonder ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S.
ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big10.
An 8-0 Rutgers run in less than a minute.
Started with an out-of-bounds play, and then it led to the defensive effort and the conversion on the other end by Montez Mathis. And this is what forced the Michigan Wolverines to burn a timeout. And notice who is not guarding Geo Baker. Charles Matthews, who had been able to stymie Baker in the scramble situation, was not able to get out there on him, and Baker able to get his feet set and knock it down from behind the arc.
All of a sudden, the crowd back in it. Brosdakis looking for the silencer. Short. Ooh, Baker almost traveled with it. Johnson. No, following it up. Kicks it out. Extra pass, but it was deflected. And Peter Kiss somehow gets it inside the corner.
Nice block out by Teskey.
Boy, what a battle.
Yes.
What a battle. And a tie-up, the arrow with Michigan, but this crowd loves the effort.
Oh, I love it. You know what, Brandon? The meek might inherit the earth, but they ain't getting an offensive rebound. I mean, you better come at it strong.
Preach, Brother Morris.
And you know what that took? Did that take talent by both those teams? No. You know what it took? Guts. They wanted it. I mean, Rutgers now feels that they're right back in the ballgame. They've taken everything that Michigan can throw at them, and it looked like they were getting ready to waver, and they have not done that. Let's see if Michigan can respond.
Bull, set play for him, and a big shot from the sophomore.
That's a response. That's a team that knows how to win. That's a team that doesn't waver in what they want to do.
And then Teskey coming away with it. Here comes Simpson. John Beilein said in Iowa, we got emotionally drunk when the crowd got into it. Trying to stay calm here, and back-to-back buckets.
I'd say then by and large, in contrast, they've remained emotionally sober.
Very. Especially Brosdakis, he has 14. There's a bump on the floor. The basket will not count. Sixth Michigan team foul. State Farm halftime report coming up shortly. Dave Refson, John Crispin breaking down the first half. They'll look ahead to a very busy week of Big Ten basketball in action. All that coming up. State Farm halftime report.
That 8-0 run answered by a mini 5-0 run by Michigan here.
And as you said, emotional sobriety. That was a tough shot for Miles Johnson.
I tell you what, I really like what that young man has continued to do in this, his redshirt freshman season. The big concern for him right now in the last minute and a half, he's had to play a lot of minutes. I think he's a little winded, especially on this end of the floor. Look, he's standing straight up.
He's given him 8 points. And defending Teskey is no easy task.
Offense.
Yep.
Ooh.
No, they called that on Omoruyi, his second.
I thought for sure they were going to go with the offense with that inside arm.
So did Steve Peichel.
Good job by moving the feet. Yeah, that's a break for Michigan.
Steve Peichel letting Larry Serrato hear it.
I would say in a slightly vociferous manner.
That is one way to describe it. Continues to be a battle between Omoruyi and Brazdeikis, but now Omoruyi goes to the bench with those 2 personals.
Nice scrape down there by Mathis to force the ball out of Brazdeikis' hands.
Matthews from 3 feet behind the arc. Tie up, Rutgers basketball.
And Matthews, when that shot went up, Brandon, he was fighting his feet. His feet weren't under him. His momentum was kind of taking him away, so he didn't have a stable base. So as he went into his shooting motion, he was kind of working against himself from the trunk down.
It'll be a big sequence here if Rutgers can get a bucket, maybe even a 3, and then get a stop.
You know what? I'm going to feed the freshman. Maybe do a little high-low, but I'm going to make sure that the freshman Johnson has a chance to do something with it here.
Well, here he's picking up the foul, Sean. That is on Miles Johnson. And again, head coach unhappy.
Yeah, and that's the right call. He's backing up. Again, it's player movement and freedom of movement, and it not only goes for the offensive player, the same applies to the defensive player. He'd have been fine if he'd have come to a stationary position, but when he backed up and put that rear end out, easy call.
And now Michigan can hold.
Still running.
And Kiss knocks it out of bounds. 2.6 remaining. And John Beilein is going to take a timeout. Steve Peichel's hot. Now John Beilein's hot, but he's angry at his players for the execution on that last attempt. And Steve Peichel's saying, I want to talk to another official, not just Larry Serrato. So he brings over Brandon Cruz. Michigan with that last loss. Still at the top of the Big Ten because Michigan State lost to Indiana. And look who's joining them up there. All of a sudden, Purdue tied for the lead.
We've been talking about the inside play of Miles Johnson, the freshman for Rutgers. How about what Trevion Williams has given the Purdue Boilermakers? You know, you knew what you were going to get from Carson Edwards. Ryan Klein has shot the ball at an extremely high level, but to have that inside presence that you can throw the ball into and score and force the defense to sometimes defend inside out, that has made life a lot easier for guys like Carson Edwards.
And Michigan State right now in a battle in Champaign against Illinois. Teskey off the right side, and that is how half number 1 concludes. So the Wolverines got up by 17. Rutgers responded, but still, it's Michigan by a dozen at the break.
Nice response by Michigan. After the Rutgers Scarlet Knights went on that 8-0 run, Michigan answered with a 5-0 run of their own.
And the number 7 team in the land coming into a sold-out rack and taking the advantage into intermission. After the break, we will go to Chicago for our State Farm halftime report. Men's basketball on BTN is brought to you by Auto Owners Insurance, trusted for generations. Visit AutoOwners.com. Halftime at the rack, it's Michigan by a dozen. over the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, and we welcome you back here in Piscataway. So it's interesting because Michigan, they really struggled at Iowa, shot right around 30%. Not in the first half, 59% tonight.
They shot better. They were able to avoid foul trouble, which got them in trouble last time out versus the Iowa Hawkeyes. And Charles Matthews able to get going on the offensive end of the floor. But that wasn't the only area that he impacted the ball game. He was able to get going to the rim. He knocked down a three, got to the foul line. But this is where he can really be impactful, Brandon. His ability on the defensive end of the floor stymied Geo Baker for long periods of time. But the Rutgers Scarlet Knights were able to answer off the bench. Miles Johnson continuing his outstanding play for the Scarlet Knights, not just inside, but showing the ability to knock down that mid-range jump shot and gave them some quality minutes going at John Teskey.
Auto Owners game leaders. You mentioned Matthews, his 9 points, also 4 assists. But Brazdeikis was number 1 in the scoring column with 14, 5 of 8 from the floor. So everybody getting into the act for the Wolverines. And they were able to weather that mini late 8-0 run by Rutgers to get back to a double-digit advantage. Falling, no foul call. Now he's back up. Xavier Simpson doing what he does best, feeding Teskey.
Nice job of hesitating, giving Teskey time, Brandon, to roll to the rim. And then what a wonderful delivery. That bounce pass above the waistline of Teskey, which allowed him to catch and complete.
Second field goal of the game for the big fella. He has 5 points. Good follow there from Montez Mathis. Brazdeikis driving and dishing out to Simpson. Here's Poole. He hit one in the first half, not there.
Nice block out by Omoruyi on Teskey.
And then a bad pass indeed. Mathis too low for Omoruyi to handle. First half, there were only 7 turnovers between the two teams.
And turnovers really hurt Rutgers on the road at Ohio State last time out. They gave up 22 points off turnovers to the Buckeyes.
Yeah, they only had 6 themselves. Ranking 4 and 7 in the league, but those 4 Rutgers wins in Big Ten play more than the last few years. Good effort there, but Baker gives it back to Poole. Teskey, deep post touch, and then a foul. It was Harper who was in a bad position, and he swiped him with the left hand and picked up his second personal.
And how about both teams, Brandon, going on the floor to try to dig out possessions for their respective teams? Baker gives it up in the corner. Then you saw Michigan returning the favor.
There hasn't been a lack of effort on either side tonight. We saw that in the first half as well. He's got the range, does Teskey. Almost went over the backboard. As Rutgers tries to get this back to a single-digit game. Omoruyi with a spin. Oh, everything but the finish.
Yeah, they isolated that side of the floor. Nice job by Rutgers of getting the matchup they were intending.
Former high school teammates, they've been going at it all night. Mid-range also no good for John Teskey. Baker's been hounded by Simpson, and that's the first time that Simpson has been whistled for a foul.
And when Baker has not been hounded by Simpson, Matthews has drawn that assignment. Livers did it a few times, really trying to get the ball out of the hands of Geo Baker.
He had that one big 3 in the first half. Other than that, he was really held in check. He's 2 of 10 against Ohio State. And that broke a streak of 7 straight double-figure games, as you see Jordan Poole getting a quick breather. back with it, splits the defenders. He wasn't shy to go right at the 7-1 Teskey.
That's called dribbling with a purpose and using the crossover to give you momentum going toward the rim. A lot of times, Brandon, you'll see guys use that crossover and they'll go sideline to sideline. He was able to use that crossover dribble to give himself momentum going toward the rim, and then he put his shoulder and forced Teskey to come through him.
Mentioned the three-pointer he had in the first half. That's all he has right now. And he misses the free throw. Saturday on BTN, more hoops. Rutgers at Illinois at 4, and then later on, Nebraska will visit Purdue. It's all presented by Jeep on BTN of the Fox Sports app. One of two for the sophomore from Derry, New Hampshire.
A little bit of a different look here by Rutgers, extending themselves defensively a little bit.
Iowa certainly had a lot of success mixing up defenses throughout that victory. Simpson out to Matthews. Rolls around and out. Baker in transition. Offensive board, though, Miles Johnson.
Nice job by Johnson of not forcing a shot.
Mathis a little wild with it. 3 on 2.
Oh, what a pass.
But a good recovery as well, Ron Harper. However, he's going to get whistled for foul number 3.
How about the pass by Brazdeikis? Good contest on the dribble drive initially by Teskey. Leads to the kick out. And then that pass did not have much of a margin for error. And again, nice job of coming from the backside. It's a tough call to have go against you if you're Rutgers.
Yeah, he got the ball, but it looked like he did get a little left hand of Matthews.
But the pass by Brazdeikis, that pass barely, it had a very, very small window that it could fit in, and he found it.
One more look from up top. Definitely got the ball first, no question. So now with 3 fouls, he sits.
Now with Issa Chom checking into the ball game, perimeter jump shots have been few and far between for Rutgers. That's what Issa Chom, number 35 in red, has the opportunity to do. He struggled shooting the ball a little bit this year. Fouls have forced him into the ball game. Now, he can be a very good defender, but the three-point shooter is something that he came in with a reputation of being. Let's see if he has the chance to be impactful in that way.
And because his shooting woes have been recent, they haven't really been playing him much. Brazdeikis is fouled. So he will head to the stripe.
I think they might have it on the pass.
You are correct, sir. Underneath out of bounds at the 16:21 mark. That's why I keep you around.
I'm glad someone does.
Yeah. There aren't many of us, trust me. Risky handoff, but Simpson bails out Matthews from a turnover. Here's Brazdeikis in the corner. Rebound, strong one by Mathis. He's going to take it inside, find Omoruyi, patiently laying it in.
And a wonderful utilization by Omoruyi of the shot fake. He didn't panic, he didn't rush, he caught it, came under control, little shot fake, let the defender fly by and convert. A nice slip of the screen.
And every time this crowd starts to get into it, Michigan has an answer.
Boy, what a nice cross screen along the baseline. Usually you would see the bigger guy, Teskey, setting the screen. Here he's the recipient, rolls right to the rim.
Teskey with 7. Mathis just pulling up from 3. Offensive, yes.
Remember in the first half, that call went against Omoruyi, and you had a feeling that Brazdeikis got away with an inside clear out. Here, Omoruyi, there was no traffic to distract the official. He moved his feet. Brazdeikis extends the arm. Good job of, that's why you play defense with your feet. You extend the arm, the possession going to Rutgers.
Fox Sports app.
How about this result? Illinois upsetting Michigan State. So now the Spartans with 3 conference losses. First top 10 AP win for Illinois since 2013. And now the standings updated. Spartans finding themselves behind Michigan and Purdue.
And Illinois, you know, that's a team much like Rutgers. Sometimes the win-loss results haven't been there, but you never question the effort. And right now, that effort, as well as some enhanced execution, is paying dividends for Coach Brad Underwood in the Fighting Illini.
Illinois, and Rutgers, a couple of teams surging. Good slip and a slam by Dorson.
How about that coming out of a dead ball situation, and a nice pass by Mathis, and he put it right where Dorson could do something with it. He had the first 4 points of the ball game for the Scarlet Knights, and that's his first basket since.
Matthews in trouble. Teske.
Blocked out by Omoruyi.
A basket here, and the rack is really going to start to feel it. Mathis, he wanted it. Driving, low pass, but it does get to Dorson, and he has it taken away. Simpson has it blocked by Baker, and then Matthews following it is fouled.
What a big swing for Rutgers. They have the ball. A tough pass for Dorson. He's able to recover, but then he tries to make a tough pass in traffic. Active hands by the Wolverines lead to a breakout.
Baker hates the call. They just showed the replay on the video board. The crowd rained down more boos as Simpson steps to the line. Let's see the foul that Baker was so upset about.
This coming off a turnover on the other end, and did they get Baker on that one? I don't know if they got Baker or Chom, but either way, the fans wearing red were not pleased.
They called it on Geo Baker. And that's why the crowd was so upset, because everybody thought it was on Chom on that follow slam by Matthews. Back to a 9-point lead.
Nice job by Brazdakis of forcing Omoruyi out to the short corner.
Here is Omoruyi. This is a matchup he's trying to take advantage of. Missing it off the window, rebound to Poole. Simpson, drive and dish. And Jordan Poole knocks it down.
How about the pass by Simpson? It's a small thing, but an important thing, Brandon. That led Jordan Poole right into his shooting motion. That thing led him right into his shot.
And now Poole has 11 off that assist from Xavier Simpson. 3 of them from outside the arc. Once again, Omoruyi and Brazdakis. No whistle, and Omoruyi finishes. Brazdakis wanted the charge. Omoruyi has a half dozen, or a dozen, excuse me.
I mean, Rutgers just hanging around. And points in the paint, remember, that was a big reason that Michigan struggled on the road at Iowa, and Rutgers starting to dominate in that area.
This is not in the paint. It's a wide open 3 for Iggy Brazdakis.
How about the response by that guy? You know, he's displeased with the call on the defensive end. He doesn't hang his head and comes down to make a play for his team on the other.
That's going to be a foul on Shaq Dorson. Michigan continues to have every answer when they need it.
And a lot of those answers being provided by Xavier Simpson. Watch that pass. It leads Jordan Poole not into just his shooting pocket, Brandon, but into his shooting motion. If that's down to the left or right, he's not able to shoot as confidently. Then you utilize the misdirection. You get the defense flowing one way, then you kick it back the opposite to Brazdakis. That's why that guy is going to be an all-conference player this season.
9, 5, and 6. Another incredible line. Of course, the triple-double 2 games ago, then 10, 8, and 7 in the Iowa loss. And Simpson's doing it again. that one short. Peter Kiss stepping back and then dropping it down inside to Miles Johnson.
Nice job by Teskey of walling up and forcing the freshman into a more difficult shot.
Simpson, little leader, no.
Someone might want to come help. There's no, you can see that happen. He needed to chin the basketball. Carter needed to get the ball under control and chin it.
But here he recovers and blocks Matthews, and the ball will belong to Rutgers. It's been a fun game, the 11th all-time meeting between Michigan and Rutgers. Michigan has won all 10 previously. Rutgers has never defeated Michigan in the most notable matchup, the 1976 Final Four that Michigan won 86-70.
That held in Philadelphia, and then Michigan ended up losing in the national championship game in an all-Big Ten final to the Indiana Hoosiers, giving Coach Bob Knight his first of 3 national titles. In that game, Michigan, a great squad that year. Ricky Green, Phil Hubbard, Wayman Britt. Indiana coming off a season before when everyone thought they might have a chance to win the national title before Scott May got hurt. They win it all, going undefeated in 76 with Scott May, Ket Benson, Quinn Buxton.
You got it all down.
Here endeth the history lesson.
But Rutgers here, if they want to get that first win against Michigan, is going to have to do it behind, down 13. McConnell's been quiet tonight.
Nice move.
Trying to make a little noise. Simpson feeding Livers. Almost feeding the basket, but it rejected him.
And a good job by Matthews of giving himself up. He sprinted to the corner. Rutgers had to adjust to him defensively. That allowed the clear path for Livers.
Went down and out, and now here's Miles Johnson against Teskey. 2 big bodies bumping, and Teskey wins that battle.
And that's the 3rd time that Teskey has maintained verticality and just showed his strength and experience, forcing a fadeaway shot, a more difficult shot for the freshman Johnson.
Much better job tonight defending without fouling. He only has 2 personals.
And he hasn't bailed out the freshman by reaching. He's played defense with his feet.
Rule attacking, little short. That's going to belong to Michigan because when McConnell caught that, he was on the baseline.
Spacing of the floor is so important. Now watch on the far side. Matthews sprints to the corner. That forces a couple of red jerseys to go with him. Michigan not able to convert. You know, missed dunk. It's simple math, worth nothing. A made layup worth 2. But nevertheless, a good job by Michigan of spreading out Rutgers in defensive transition.
I like how you still turn that into a highlight, though. You know, you can make chicken salad out of anything.
Yeah.
Runner, and a good one by Montez Mathis. You said it appropriately. Rutgers just sort of hanging around. There's a foul up top. Shaq Carter reaching.
Montez Mathis, a couple of games recently has been a little bit subpar offensively after putting together a nice run, and those are the sorts of plays that get him going. This kid can get to the rim, play through some contact, and that's a difficult shot. You can see over the last couple of games he has struggled, but that wasn't the case over the previous 4.
And he has 10 tonight, 4 of 7 from the floor. Looking at the team fouls right now, 6 on Rutgers, 3 on Michigan. John's back into the game. Matthews almost slipped. Simpson, baseline drive. Poole is so good at that shot fake, and then a beautiful move. How about Johns with a follow?
Nice job by Johns of remaining active, but what happened with all that dribble penetration? It put Rutgers in a scramble situation defensively, and it ultimately led to the stick back by the freshman Johns.
Just the 7th made field goal all year for Johns. Omoruyi, yes, that was an excellent pass from Mathis.
He froze the defender. They thought he was going to continue to dribble drive. He had his head up. That allowed him to thread the needle to Omoruyi.
Omoruyi with 14. Simpson, another running hook. This time no good.
Usually he tries to use the window on that.
Well, he had it off the window in the first half on the other end. Peter's kiss.
Yep, I think they're going to get off it.
I thought they might get him for wrapping the arm around as well, but they got it on Michigan instead.
Because watch the inside arm by Chris as he turns the corner. Watch this inside arm right there.
It's kind of once and then twice, but instead it's the second on Brandon Jones. Catch and release, no good for McConnell.
You can live with that shot because it's coming off a nice out-of-bounds play, and that's a shot that young man can hit.
Simpson trying to get it into Teskey, but he could not.
And he stared down Teskey. That allowed Rutgers to react defensively. That's a block.
It is a block on Jordan Poole. Just his first.
Right now, if you are Michigan defensively, you have to keep an eye on Peter Chris, who's now going to go to the corner, and a good job by Brooks of understanding that that's where they wanted to go and taking away on the out-of-bounds situation.
So instead, it's Omoruyi playing a little bully ball and draw the foul on Isaiah Livers.
And this is why you have to love the way Omoruyi plays the game. He is able to put the ball on the floor with the left hand, but then he utilizes kind of a lost art. Everyone talks about the mid-range game. How about the ability to score around the basket with a head fake and draw the defender?
So 14 more tonight after 19 last game. Now 15 points. Sunday on BTN. Don't forget about the Journey, connecting you to the stars of Big Ten basketball. Access you won't find anywhere else. An all-new edition, fueled by Gatorade, Sunday 9 Eastern here on BTN. 1 of 2 for Omoruyi. Ten-point game. Michigan's largest lead midway through the first half was 17.
Might be a pretty good time for a post touch for Teskey.
Brosdakis says, Sean Morris, how about a three-pointer from the top of the arc?
Or you could do that.
And he now has 20, does the freshman. The 20-year-old freshman who turned that age on January 8th. Kiss. A little strong. Good save on the kick out from Dorson.
Nice active feet by Simpson.
Dorson with a hook.
I tell you what, he has given them some real quality minutes. He started the game with 4 quick points and then, again, has doubled his production here in the second half. But Michigan able to withstand everything that Rutgers has thrown at him because of the play and the confident play of Brosdakis. You spread the floor, you get misdirection. That's the result.
A peek at tonight's Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's in the net.
And it's very appropriate, Brandon, that our friends at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's in the net are all of the catch and release variety, especially from the Michigan Wolverines. And this is something that we've become accustomed to seeing from Michigan. They're usually amongst the lead leaders in made threes, but that has been an anomaly this season where they've been at 8, making about 8 per ball game, already surpassed that so far.
Of course, missing Duncan Robinson from last year. And also Mo Wagner really implemented that into his game as well. Yeah. But Brosdakis tonight with 20 points to lead all scores, 7 of 11 from the floor. He and Matt Harms, they touch their hair more than anybody else in the Big Ten Conference.
They are well coiffed, no question.
So it's an 11-point Michigan lead out of the timeout. Rutgers got it down to 7, had the basketball, but couldn't inch any closer. Stop and pop Brooks. His first shot of the night is no good.
Boy, I tell you what, Dorson has given Rutgers quality minutes, very efficient on his way to 8 points, but they're doing a good job right there of blocking out Teskey and then corralling the rebound.
Baker lost it, but it was tipped out of bounds, 12 to shoot.
And a nice strong hedge there by Teskey forced Baker out wide until Simpson was able to recover.
Rutgers has 8 wins all-time against top 10 AP teams, the last coming 2015 here against Wisconsin. And a lot of work to do if they want to get another top 10 win. Baker. Omoruyi battling inside with Simpson, and they're going to get the foul on Simpson.
And that's the right call, because Omoruyi kept moving, and even though Simpson appeared that he had the inside position, he's trying to ride him out. So you can come over the top. Look at Omoruyi. He gets the inside. Now, watch what Simpson does. He's riding him out. That's the right call.
Bonus the rest of the way for both teams. Ooh, rolled around and down. Poole returns. And Matthews coming back in as well, as Livers and Brooks take a seat.
Problem for Rutgers all year as a squad, 63% from the foul line. That's last in the conference.
Simpson called the screen, got it, and then did his patented hook shot for 2.
And what you saw was that they've utilized that play, but many times it's been the kickback to Brosdakis. So you saw Rutgers kind of freeze because they were expecting, watch right here, on the dribble drive, they kind of freeze because they think he's going to kick it back. Baker is almost expecting the throwback. Simpson saw that, kept his head up and his dribble alive.
That's going to be a foul on Matthews pushing in the post. Producer Denny Blount asked you before the game, is the over-under on running hook shots for Simpson 2? And you said under. He's attempted 3 tonight.
Well, it makes, and I took 1, and that's 2, so that's why, you know, I have to answer to a minister of finance, so I'd never, it's all for fun.
Another solid game for number 3 in the maize and blue.
And what that play did, it just shows you how masterful Michigan is, because they'd run the same kind of set with that dribble drive, and that had set up a couple possessions ago, the throwback to Brosdakis. Rutgers is trying to take that away. Simpson saw that, kind of read the defense, and just kept his dribble alive and able to go to the rim and convert.
Here we go again, back to a 10-point game. I mean, it's just been jostling between 9 and 13 for the last 7 minutes. Simpson out to Brosdakis.
He's got the mismatch he wants on Dorson.
He's going to step back, shoot it over Dorson, and bury it. You said it, the matchup he wanted. He takes advantage, 23 points. Up top, Omoruyi. The answer.
How about the little utilization of the pass fake? Looked like he was going to maybe throw it to the left wing. Michigan had to respond accordingly. And I tell you what, the 2 players from Canada for their respective squads are getting it done here. Brosdakis understands that he has Dorson out of his comfort zone defensively and knocks it down. And then Omoruyi does a lot of his work around the rim, but shows you, hey, I can step up and knock it down myself.
All come together.
Men's basketball on BTN is presented by Rocket Mortgage, by Quicken Loans, and also by State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Iggy Brosdakis, Eugene Omoruyi went to the same prep school in Canada, and they have been battling tonight.
Yeah, they've been isolated on one another at various times, and there's no remedy for that defensively. Brosdakis, Omoruyi, he was able to draw one of those charges, something he's done throughout the course of this season. And Brazdeikis got Michigan going offensively. Omoruyi trying to answer the call as well for his squad.
So it combined for 42 points. They played just 1 year together at Orangeville Prep, north of the border, in 2015 and 16, and they exchanged greetings before the game, and it's been all business since.
Greetings before the game, forearm shivers during.
That's exactly right. But all in good competition. So Steve Piker called that timeout after the Rutgers bucket, trying to get his team a little closer. Brazdeikis finally misses. Geo Baker against Simpson all over.
How about Simpson moving his feet and showing his hands?
And Baker just 1 of 6 from the floor, 3 points. Here they go again. Travel? Yes. We do have the photo of that 2015-16 team. There's Omoruyi on the far left, Brazdeikis far right. Omoruyi's a little bit more chiseled now.
He's put the time into the weight room.
There's no doubt about it. Simpson sees a lane. Can't get it off the glass. Baker the other direction, and there's a foul on Simpson. Third on Simpson, and 9 now on Michigan. Short D-line, Piers on as Baker toes the stripe. Coming up, stick around after the game. Big Ten basketball postgame featuring the press conferences, the interviews, all the expert analysis from the studio right after the game. Don't change that channel. Keep it here on BTN. Well, we're back down to single digits. It's 8.
And this crowd doing everything they can to inspire the Scarlet Knights. And every time that Rutgers seemed that they were going to climb back in, Michigan has had a response.
Do they have another response? Not this time.
Wilson's been a quiet hero tonight for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Baker, this would be huge, but not enough leg.
And a block out by Brazdeikis on Omoruyi impeded his path to potentially track down that long offensive rebound.
3.5 to go at the rack. Poole just inside the arc. Yes, there's another Michigan answer.
And they kind of went underneath. I think Dorson was a little tired. He needed to come out and show stronger on that hedge. He kind of backed off, and Poole made him pay.
Poole with 13. Baker finding Omoruyi. And Omoruyi is fouled by Brazdeikis. But Michigan once again getting that lead back to 10.
Every time Rutgers has made a run, it has been Michigan that has had a response and a breakdown in communication. It's bottom of the well. Night, night, says Jordan Poole.
Champaign and Rutgers trying to come from behind, but Michigan still up 10 with 3:02 to go. I mentioned it, but Rutgers looking for their first top 10 AP win in 2015 when they beat number 4 Wisconsin here. You were here for that game, weren't you, partner?
I was. Javon Jackson went down with an ankle injury. Frank Kaminsky was out, but that does not diminish what Rutgers was able to accomplish that night in a team and, you know, the Wisconsin Badgers that made a run all the way to the Final Four.
Rutgers with 4 Big Ten wins already this season. And Omoruyi trying to chip into that deficit. I'm impressed often when Steve Pikel, for as active as he is on that sideline, keeps that sport coat on all night long. 8-point game. And here comes the noise. to Shaq Dorsett.
Boy, Baker wanted to get it to Kiss, but did a better job using some discretion of not trying to throw it. And every time it looks like Rutgers may be able to get it to half a dozen, they're just come up a little bit short. And this is a really good job right there by Brazdeikis of continuing to move his feet. And watch the inside arm right there. Official had the proper view. That's the proper call.
So now Michigan with the basketball back. Rutgers occasionally has gotten the stops that they needed, but then they haven't been able to convert on the other side. Brazdeikis, he has been the man tonight for the Wolverines.
How about the back tap by Teske, trying to keep it alive?
But it does fall to Kiss. He's a sharpshooter. Hands it off to Mathis. Can Rutgers get that bucket? Double team up top. Omoruyi had Kiss. Instead, it's Mathis in the lane, and Brazdeikis blocked it and got it.
Yeah, Mathis dribbled himself into trouble. He had that little short 8 to 10 foot jump shot, but he took the extra dribble to get closer. That allowed Michigan to respond defensively.
And then Baker is going to send Simpson to the line. Simpson not the best foul shooter at 60%.
And you can see Eugene Omoruyi telling his teammate Mathis, hey, you've got to take that shot. He wanted to get a closer shot. He took the extra dribble, and that allowed Michigan to collapse.
He is the leader, the heart and soul of this Rutgers team. And speaking of the heart and soul, Xavier Simpson, he makes the engine go for John Beilein. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. And 12 points for Simpson. Approaching 90 seconds. Does Rutgers have a final gasp? Here's Baker. Been held in check tonight. And held in check there, but Omoruyi gets the rebound. Into the lane. No. Had a great look at it.
I think it came off the heel of his hand. Looked like it might have slipped as he went into a shooting motion.
And now will Rutgers foul. They want to foul Simpson. And that's exactly what happens. And that's 4 on Geo Baker. The Rutgers, they've never been able to get closer than 7 here in the second half. Michigan has always kept them at arm's length.
Every time that it was with 8 points, and it looked like if they could get over that hump and get it to within half a dozen, that the momentum might really start to shift. But every time, either Michigan had an answer, which was predominantly the case, or Rutgers would have a miscue, be it a turnover or a foul.
And I know that Xavier Simpson is 60% on the season, but I'm not wanting to send this guy to the line late because of how tough he is. And he knocks down 2 more all net. Back to 11. And there's a foul as Baker faked the dribble handoff and drew the contact. Simpson, like Baker now, also has 4 fouls. Also has a quick word for the official, Larry Serrato. Well, if this score holds as it appears that it will, Sean, it's a pretty good response from Michigan after that game in Iowa.
Yeah, because they knew coming in here to a sold-out arena that they were going to get Rutgers' best shot, and they certainly have done that, especially in terms of the effort put forth by the Scarlet Knights. And, you know, every time that it looked like Rutgers might climb back in, you have to admire what Michigan was able to do with their response.
See Michigan trying to get their 13th straight win following a loss. Steve Peichel uses his final timeout. Michigan State, the loss earlier to Illinois, So it's Michigan and Purdue at the top, and Rutgers 4 and 7 right there in the middle of the pack. It's going to be a competitive finish in this conference. If you want to try to predict the final standings before this thing goes to Chicago, good luck. I don't want to do it. I know this. A lot of Big Ten teams are going to be in the NCAA tournament.
They've just made the turn in terms of conference play. You know, most teams now are above that 10, or every team now has played more than 10 conference games, more than halfway through the revised 20-game schedule. I think as you take a look at that, especially as you do the eyeball test, that may be a little bit generous, but stranger things have happened.
I think probably that 8 range is at least safe.
I think coming into the year, as you looked at it with the conference that put 4 teams into the tournament a year ago, with Michigan advancing all the way to the national championship game, you thought that, hey, look, this is a conference that has a chance to potentially double their bids from a season ago, and I think that is still very realistic.
They got it into Poole. Poole, a good foul shooter. That's where he'll go after the foul by Peter Kiss. So Michigan trying to get to 21-2, 10-2 in the league before they host Wisconsin on Saturday. That should be a heck of a game. And Rutgers will go to Illinois next. That also should be a very good game from 2 surging programs.
Yeah, if you want to see 2 teams that are going to come in there, play confidently, and most importantly, play hard, make sure you're watching that ball game. And the Michigan Wolverines, don't forget that the Wisconsin Badgers handed the Wolverines their first loss of the season earlier this season in Madison.
It's been a tough night for Geo Baker. And a frustration foul, and that will end the night for the sophomore with 53.5 remaining. But as we said all along, give credit to Michigan's defense. Baker is not an easy guy to stop.
And they've rotated many defenders on him. Charles Matthews has guarded that young man, as has Xavier Simpson. Poole also drew that assignment. Baker not able to get on track. Few easy shots on his way to a one-a-night performance from the floor. But Geo Baker showing you how difficult it is to go from maybe second or third on the scouting report, as he was as a true freshman, all the way to the top. Last year you had guys like Corey Sanders and Deshaun Freeman that were going to get the bulk of the attention, but he came in and really set a nice standard as a true freshman. And even though he struggled tonight because of the defensive intensity that he faced versus Michigan, he still is integral to what's going to happen here at Piscataway.
Well, you're exactly right. But the last 3 games, 6 of 27. He will get it back rolling, though. He's too good. But tonight, in front of the 3rd sellout of the year, it looks like Rutgers is going to come up a little bit short. Omoruyi may have gotten away with a couple of travels. And then he missed the bunny, and the ball don't lie, I guess. Back to Michigan.
That was not necessarily the most fluid drive to the rim.
And Omoruyi will end his excellent night going to the bench with 37 seconds to go.
Tell you what, any team I'm on, any organization I might be a part of, I want that guy on my side.
No question. Yeah, 21 more night after 19 last game for Omoruyi. But an excellent response by Michigan. As we said earlier, John Beilein told us, you know, when we were at Iowa, we got into some moments where the crowd got to us. The crowd never got to them this evening. And there's the dagger, 3-pointer, Isaiah Livers. As Rutgers dribbles out the final seconds, and John Beilein gets his 121st Big Ten win, breaking Johnny Orr's Wolverine record. And he does it on his 66th birthday. Born February 5th, 1953 in Burt, New York. Congratulations to John Beilein of the Michigan Wolverines Very balanced attack, including Xavier Simpson doing his thing and getting John Beeline the 12-point win, 77-65. And that'll do it for the rack. Michigan quiets the sellout crowd and gets the victory to get back on the winning track. Now 21-2 on the season. For Sean Morris and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Coming up next, stay tuned. It's the Big Ten basketball postgame show right here on BTN. So long, everybody.